Despite the notices, some people still flaunt the regulations. It is vital that not just the check-in agent, but everyone is alert to the dangers and aware of the action to take.
Mercury thermometer.
Ah, yes, drop the monitor, yeah, indeed. Now, this shouldn't be on board, in fact, should it?
Apart from the accepted articles, only aircraft equipment and supplies required aboard an aircraft for its operation can be carried without being packaged, marked, labelled, and stowed according to the regulations.
There are 9 classes of dangerous goods. 8 of them carry hazard warning labels, which put them into particular categories. Class 9 includes a large number of other dangerous goods, which cannot be categorized and do not have a particular label. Instead, Class 9 items are identified in other ways. The labels identify the hazard by symbol and color. Some classes have divisions. Each class or division has a number. The class or division number is shown on the bottom corner of the label. When there are 2 hazards which require labels, the label identifying the lesser or subsidiary risk has no number shown on it. Some consignments may need special labels. If a label says "this way up," it is obvious that the package must be stored this way up. Magnetized materials must not be loaded in such a position that they will affect the direct reading magnetic compasses or the master detector units of the aircraft. This consignment is too dangerous to be carried on passenger aircraft, so it has to be carried on the main deck of freighter aircraft, where access to it can be gained in flight. Anyone who has dealings with cargo or passengers should know these labels and their meanings. They tell you why they are dangerous and how they should be carried. 2 seemingly harmless ingredients, but mix them together and you get some very different results. Some mixtures will catch fire, others will explode or give off toxic fumes. While some require a spark to set them off, others require only a drop of water, or they may even require nothing at all. In all these experiments, one of the constituents was considered too weak to be classified dangerous goods. You don't have to be a genius to work out the results of 2 real hazards coming together in an aircraft full of passengers. There are a number of classes which react dangerously with each other. This table summarizes them. An X at an intersection of 2 classes indicates that they must not be loaded together. For example, Class 5 must not be loaded next to Classes 1, 3, 4 or 8. Or Class 8 loaded next to 1, 4 or 5.
You don't have to memorize this table. There's a copy of it here in the IATA Dangerous Goods Regulations, which, as I said earlier, is in the aircraft library.
Whether dangerous goods are loaded into ULDs or bulk loaded onto an aircraft these segregation rules apply. Separation has to be maintained by loading other cargo between the classes. There are also specific loading rules applicable to individual classes. Radioactive materials, for instance, must be loaded and stored so that sufficient distance is kept between them and passengers, live animals and film. The regulations contain minimum distances which must be adhered to. It is also obvious that poisons must never be loaded next to food.
Besides specifying how dangerous goods should be packed, marked, labelled and loaded, the regulations also set down which group of people is responsible for what.
It is the shipper's duty to identify and classify any dangerous article and to pack, mark and label them correctly. A signed declaration that he has done so must accompany any consignment that arrives at the cargo acceptance point. The regulations make the operator's acceptance staff responsible for checking each package on its arrival. A checklist is used to ensure a package complies with the regulations for type, marks and labelling. If there is incorrect information or any sign of damage, the package must be refused. Where cargo handling staff are responsible for loading ULDs, they are also responsible for ensuring that any dangerous goods are properly secured and segregated inside. They must check each package for signs of damage before they load it. However minor it may look, any sign of damage and the package must not be loaded onto an aircraft, whether in a ULD or individually. Although damage may look slight on the outside, who knows what's going on inside?